Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and all you other challenging cryptids out there, and welcome to Scrubhaus Video Club Live. I am Glowcat, but you can call me Audrey because we are friends, and with me as always,
I'm
that
Star
way.
Yeah. So today is going to be a very crazy episode. This might be an extra long episode because we're going to do who would win in a fight. And
So,
we're not just going to do this as who would win in a fight. Like, hey, let's just pick out random one. No, we have a 16-person single elimination bracket. This is the SVC Live Sweet 16 here.
We're gonna go the 60-minute time limit with TV time remaining. So
yeah, we're going to try to get this done as soon as possible. But some of these I really do think that these are going to be rather difficult to choose. Some of these are going to be really easy. They're going to be like, nah, dude, you totally lost. But some of these are going to be really hard. I think all of them are at least going to spark conversation. And so this is one of those things where if me and Audrey just can't decide, it might come down to audience vote. You guys might have to tell us who wins and who loses. So who's
the answer is everyone that I choose.
This is a lie.
We
did a complete random seed on this. I chose 8, Audrey chose 8, and then we randomized it. So some of the matches are going to be 2 people I pick, some of the matches are going to be 2 people Audrey picks, and some of them we're going to be going up against each other. So
and I set a rule that we couldn't have anything that was inherently magical or supernatural. So like Munchie can't win the tournament by turning everyone into a bomb.
Whenever you have conversations like this, the reason that people hate who would win in a fight stuff is because they always end up talking about supernatural people. Who would win in a fight between Goku and Superman? The only thing that Goku and Superman can't do are things they haven't tried yet. That's it. So that's not fun. What is fun is talking about 2 mortals who can die, who have flaws. What happens when they fight each other?
A strangely kind of off topic, but on topic to what you said. I seen a headline the other day. I'm not going to act like I read the article because it didn't invest me enough to read the article that said that now Goku could beat any of the other villains as normal Goku instead of Super Saiyan or whatever he was at that point in time. Normal Goku has reached the status to where it is almost already just Ultra Instinct, so he can just beat anyone as normal Goku now. That was the thing that I read a headline about.
Again, it's the same thing with Superman. The only thing that Goku can't do is something he hasn't tried yet.
I mean, Superman can't smoke a rock of, kryptonite. Can't get high on kryptonite
because he hasn't.
I always hear that like whenever you get bit by a snake, like you trip for a little bit because it's like a poison to the body. Maybe if he took just a little bit of kryptonite, he'd get stoned as fuck.
Exactly. Just sprinkle a little kryptonite on his weed and he gets hella faded. All right, so let's do this. This is gonna take a while, so let's do this. Our first round matchup is Aaron Brand from Double Down versus Defense from Falling Down. By the way, we didn't plan this. This just happened. This happened several times.
The battle of the down.
This is the system of the down.
I'm gonna
when I randomized this happened where like a bunch of them are like, oh, that's oddly appropriate. How the hell did that happen?
So Aaron Brand can't have his magic cancer curing rock. And if he can't have his magic cancer curing rock, the only thing that he has is the ability to hack and a bunch of cell phones and satellite dishes and tuna cans. He might have some poison. I think at one point he did shoot somebody, so he does have a gun, but he's a special agent in the way that like if he came face to face with Defense would just kill him and just gun him down immediately. Like there would be no stopping that. If he pissed him off, it would have to get to the point that they would battle, but we're insinuating that they have gotten to that point.
Exactly. Like Aaron Brand would have to like pull a gun on Defense and make Defense feel like he has to defend himself. or else he's not going. He's just going to be like, whatever.
But we've had to
I'm going home.
We had to have reached a crescendo, right? Because they're going to fight. So in that situation, you have to assume that something like that has happened. And if something like that has happened, Aaron Brand is nowhere in the vicinity to be able to do something to retaliate against defense, because everything in his specific repertoire would take too much planning.
Yeah. On the flip side of that too, Aaron Brand isn't a white supremacist, which is the only person that defense kills, like, directly. One guy dies because he has a heart attack, but that was because he shot.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
So like, defense would be conflicted. Like, this is just another American. He might be pissing.
Well, Aaron Brand would kill him. Aaron Brand wouldn't. Aaron Brand killed the wrong people and didn't care.
Yeah, and he's
so I think that's what that happened. That scene is very unclear, but.
Yeah, and Pendergrass, when he shoots defense, he's a cop. Defense doesn't think he's the bad guy, though. That's the other thing, too. If he thought Aaron Brand was the bad guy, he might go after him. He might shoot him.
I mean, Aaron Brand thinks that Aaron Brand is the bad guy, but then becomes the good guy. That's the problem with Double Down in this situation. Look, I think that defense would win. As much as I love Neil Breen, I don't foresee him in that situation, the type of character that he is, being able to even contend with someone as unhinged as defense.
So you want to give it to defense?
I'm going to give it to defense. I mean, it sucks to knock Neil Breen out of the tournament this early, but
just out of just military prowess too, you got to think about with defense, right? Is that that's the thing with defense is that he has that military background.
If he was in the water, he might have died.
Oh,
right?
I forgot he shot the gangbangers because they tried to kill him. Yeah, he killed the gangbangers. He shot that dude in the leg. He died later from blood loss. But
so what you're saying is he would incapacitate Aaron Brand and then walk away and can continue down his journey, which is what he does.
Yeah.
So I still give it to defense.
Be a win? That would be a win. Okay, all right. So yeah, first round goes to defense.
That wasn't my pick. Defense was not on my list. That Aaron Brand was. So
these things kind of happen, unfortunately. And as Mythos points out, defense has more weaponry. That's true.
At one point, he gets an RPG.
He has a rocket launcher at one point.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird rocket launchers.
That's the thing. By the way, any of the movies that we're talking about here, we are suggesting that you should watch. I just want to throw that out there. So if you haven't seen Double Down, it's a trip. I do believe it's on Amazon Prime. Seek that out. Falling Down, you got to get past some problematic stuff, but the story that's told is a damn good story. It might also kind of seem like boomer vision, but at the same time, the more you get into it, the more it makes sense. So go into Falling Down with an open mind.
If defense was around today, defense would have saw what was happening at the Capitol and been all like, all right, I'm going to go kill some white supremacists. Like, he's that kind of guy. As soon as he sees Nazis, he just sees red. So he's awesome. Round two. These are both my picks. Beverly Supton from Serial Mom versus Detective Mike Harrigan from Predator 2.
See, all right, so that's an easy answer because Mike Harrigan was badass enough that he defeated the Predator. and you're gonna.
I so wanted to use Pamela Voorhees, and then found out we never watched Friday. We watched other Friday the 13th movies.
Mike Harrigan was a housewife. Or something, then it depends on the situation. I think that Beverly Supton was a lot better at sneakily murdering people, so she's more like a hitman.
She's very like the Predator in that regard. She's stealthy, but
Mike Harrigan beat the fucking Predator.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just as soon as she goes to fucking stab Mike or whatever, she would stab him and he would just turn around and be like, "Nah, bitch," and shoot her in the face.
Mike got into a car with a brick on the gas pedal and hung out the door with an automatic weapon, using it as a shield to gun down gangbangers, dove out of the car, and then ran it into people.
You're wrong about one part of that. It wasn't an automatic weapon. He did it with a fucking revolver.
Sorry, with a revolver. But still, like, Mike Harrigan is a badass. As much as I want Beverly Sutton to win, again, he killed the Predator and was given an old revolver.
Yeah,
is that what he was given?
No, it was a flintlock.
It was a flintlock. Yeah, it was right. And then Predator 3 was originally supposed to be that story, and now there's comics about it. The Predator continuity is weird, but yeah, Mike.
So we're gonna give this one to Mike. All right.
I'm sorry. I know Mythos said that Sierra Mom wins, but
if she had gone up against some of the other people on this list, I would have been like, nah, Beverly. But no.
Well, see, the precedent that we're setting here is everyone that is here. It eventually is going to come down to, could they beat the Predator?
There's a few on this list. There's a few on this list I'm already looking at that I'm like, no, they can definitely kill the Predator.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I'm just saying we're setting a precedent. So not only is this who would win in these fights, it's who can beat the Predator. We're setting up a twofer here. Let's get to that next one.
All right. It is Ogami Ito versus Hawk. This is Lone Wolf and Cub versus the Rollerblade 7.
They both have samurai swords.
That's what I was thinking about this one too. It's like, oh, it's going to be a sword battle. That's awesome.
And if it's going to be a sword battle, then the master of the sword is the Lone Wolf. There's no ways around that. He beats all of the best swordsmen in Japan.
But
and the worst.
Never faced Hawk, and Hawk.
Now,
swordman. He's a swordman on rollerblades.
That's true, but we have to assume that he's not supernatural. So the weird edits that we see are not him manipulating time.
No, that's just stylization. That's all that is.
And he kind of sucks at actually doing things. And specifically, like whenever you watch the edits in the Rollerblade 7, let's say he throws a knife up and he catches it. You watch him fumble do that 3 times because of the way that they cut it. And it doesn't look graceful at all.
You're right.
So in this, I mean, this is a no contest. This is the Lone Wolf.
I think a lot of these first round matches are most of these. Well, I'm not gonna say all of these. I'm gonna say most of these first round matches. I think are going to be.
I think if round 6 is still round 6, that's hard.
Round 6 is round 6 is gonna be difficult. I honestly the last 4 rounds of the first quarter are gonna be really hard.
Get it? That's
but no. So you're saying Ogami?
Yeah, I have to.
I would agree. I don't think Hawk can stand up to.
I don't think Hawk can stand up to Beverly Sutton, dude.
Follow-up question on this though: Is Ogami? Is it just Lone Wolf and is it Lone Wolf and Cub or just Lone Wolf? Like, does he have the kid with him?
It doesn't matter in that situation because even whenever he was just the Lone Wolf, he was the best samurai in Japan.
Okay, I got you. All right, so Ogami takes it.
He just happened to find a way to still continue to be that with the benefit instead of detriment of having child. So, I mean, that's Lone Wolf and Cub is some powerful shit.
All right, now we're about to get into some difficult territory. Otis Driftwood from House of a Thousand Corpses versus Tommy from 8 Heads in a Duffel Bag.
They're both murderers in different aspects.
They both enjoy torture.
They're both unhinged.
And they both like to collect bodies. Tommy doesn't like to collect bodies. It's just what he's been ordered to do. He doesn't mind chopping heads off of corpses. He doesn't care.
I think Tommy in this situation would want to be a little more stealthy, and Otis Driftwood doesn't mind going in loud.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that is a point in Otis's favor. I think they're kind of the same person, except one is insane and calm, and one is insane and over the top. So they're both insane, murdering body collectors. So they both have that in common. But one is over here and one is over here.
The thing is, both of them are going to, they're both huge presences. They're both, even though Tommy's a little more stealthy, right? It's going to be one of those things where he wants you to know, hey, I'm here. I'm for you. There's a reason that you know somebody's put a hit out on you. It's happening.
You can't warn Otis. I feel like you can't warn Otis. I feel like that. I mean, whenever it comes to psychopath, whenever it comes to the willingness of doing things, it comes down to who would be the most comfortable just getting it over with as loud and grandiose as possible and not fucking caring. And that is not Tommy. That is Otis.
Well, Otis will want to drag it out. Tommy would rather it just be over and done with. Tommy's a little quicker on the on that stuff. Otis is going to be all like, really?
Bill Moseley could beat the shit out of Joe Pesci.
You came to destroy Dr. Satan himself. You came to kill the devil. But let me tell you something. You know,
I don't think that Tommy would win.
I don't. This one's kind of difficult for me, but I am leaning more towards Otis anyway. Just because
Otis is the winner.
Tommy enjoys torturing people. He enjoys torturing people, but his torture is less lethal. He just likes to fuck with people's heads. Otis wants to like carve you up while you're still alive. He wants to turn you into a fish man.
I mean, it depends on which movie we're talking about, but yeah.
As far as I can tell, it's all of them that he's been in. He just look at that whole entire scene with the fucking clown.
He gets to a point that he just likes to murder people. That's the problem with 3 from Hell's. The character dynamics are weird. Let's not get into that. I say Otis, and Mythos, vote in chat for Otis.
Oh well, I think she just likes. I think she just likes Otis.
I mean, I like Bill Moseley a lot as well. What are you trying to say?
Yeah. Well, there's a difference between liking Bill Moseley and liking Otis Driftwood. Just saying.
I don't know. I just make it Otis before I start screaming the lyrics to Lord Lawnmower.
Oh God, let me just move on. Here's one that's going to be really interesting. Yamashita from Samurai Cop versus Chef Chelios from Crank.
All right, so I'm thinking along the lines of who out of these two could beat the Predator.
But now you're thinking, you're like, either one of these guys could kill the Predator.
I don't think really Chef Chelios could kill the Predator. I don't think that Yamashita could kill the Predator either. I think that they both have their follies. Now, whenever it comes down to it, one is probably one of the best henchmen / gangsters that has ever existed in Yamashita from Samurai Cop.
I was about to say the other one is Chef Chelios.
Yeah, and Zadar just knocks it out of the park. But Chef Chelios is probably one of the biggest Mary Sues in film history. So, I mean, but we don't know what would happen if somebody just legitimately, like there's no weird circumstances behind anything. Chef Chelios is just a person. And Robert Zadar shows up with a samurai sword and Uzi. I think Robert Zadar is going to win.
I personally think Chef Chelios will take that Uzi away from him, dump it in a bucket of oil, and shove it up his ass, because he literally did that to a guy with a shotgun.
You wouldn't pull that on a Robert Zadar. He's too large. He's too large and in charge.
That guy was like fucking 300 pounds.
But it was no Robert Zadar.
Oh,
the gym doesn't lose.
This is one of those I think is going to have to come down to audience vote. I really do, because I think Chef Chelios. There's a few guys on this list I'm looking at that I don't think could beat Chef Chelios. That I could think could beat Chef Chelios. I'm looking at a bunch.
You don't think that Robert Zadar could beat the shit out of Jason Statham? Let's think about that.
We're not asking that question. We're not asking that question. If we are asking that question, I think that fight, if we're asking specifically actor versus actor, Robert Zadar versus Jason Statham, right? I think it would be really fucking close, because they're both fucking huge. They're both built like brick shit houses. And as far as I know, they both have some martial arts background.
Well, yeah, you also have like a height advantage in shit whenever it comes to Robert Zadar. And not to mention that Yamashita is fully trained in the ancient art of Bushido. So I'm just saying he has a lot of discipline in the way that he fights, whereas Chef Chelios is a fucking loose cannon.
Yeah, Chef Chelios is like Chef Chelios is a man grenade. You pull the pin and throw him in there. He's like Trevor from Grand Theft Auto 5. He literally doesn't give a fuck.
All right, Robert Zadar, Yamashita could kill Trevor. Absolutely.
I think the big difference between Trevor and Chev is that Trevor is a fucking meth head and Chef Chelios isn't.
He's on all kinds of drugs. What the fuck are you talking about?
He's only okay. He's only on all kinds of drugs because he has to be.
The name of the movie is Crank.
His adrenaline. They give him a fucking insulin drip later that's filled with meth so that he can stay alive.
He's not a meth head. He's motherfucking on meth in the movie. Look,
no, he's on epinephrine.
It doesn't fucking matter because I'm gonna say Yamashita. But if it comes down to audience vote, then you get Chev. But I think that you are setting an unfair precedent by moving forward Chef Chelios.
So far, we don't, because right now it's a tie. Right now it's a fucking tie. If you look at the audience vote right now,
I think sending Chef Chelios forward
because is saying Zadar. Oh, yeah. See, no, it's Yamashita. I know why. And
if we move forward with Chef Chelios,
convince me, Mythos. Convince me. I want to know.
I mean, I'm just saying you're setting a very, very unfair precedent here.
Mythos is saying, I know why. I want to. What are you saying, Mythos? I want to see this. What's your unfair precedent? Tell me.
Because the whole idea is Chef Chelios doesn't die, and if somebody can't die, they technically can't lose.
No. I believe Chef Chelios lives the same way that John McClane lives, right? Pure fucking luck. It's the fact that the people that he's dealing with are less inclined to be able to kill him than he is to kill them, right? We're talking about having him going up against Yamashita. Yamashita is more inclined to actually kill Chev and not just like let him go.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yamashita
that happens a bunch of times in Crank where they're just all like, "Nah, leave him for dead. It's fine."
Yeah, no, that wouldn't
possibly
happen.
Live from this. No, Yamashita would fuck him up.
Well, and also you have to look at it. Yamashita would kind of pull some of the Crank shit as well, though, right? Because he has henchmen of his own. So all of Yamashita's henchmen would already have tried to kill Chev by this point. Because if you remember Samurai Cop, there's like the guy who gets his arm chopped off and shit like that. Yeah. There's the grenade scene. There's the semi-automatic weapons scene. So whenever it comes down to it, we've already gotten past the fact that Chef Chelios has made it to the henchman. This would be the final boss battle. Final boss battle doesn't typically leave Chef Chelios for dead.
Mythos, I can't even read that. What does that say? We start bringing weird movie stuff. We get Samurai Cop in the picture. We get the Samurai Cop who ends up in this, and Biz even.
I agree that Samurai Cop is also a gigantic Mary Sue. That's specifically what he was made to be. He overcomes every single thing that's thrown his way in a way that doesn't make sense. And that's the only reason he won against Yamashita is the fact that he's a Mary Sue. But Chef Chelios is a Mary Sue. So, I mean, I suppose at this point,
I'm thinking on the lines though that like if okay, here's what I'm gonna say. If we look at it from the perspective of when it gets down to it, both of the final fights against the bad guy in both Crank and Crank 2, the guy tries to run away from Chev.
Not gonna happen.
Yamashita ain't gonna run away.
No, not at all.
So,
and Chev isn't going to be able to make his way towards Yamashita directly either, because he's going to have a bunch of weapon fire. Yamashita likes to use grenades. We've seen that. And if he does make it up on him,
Grassy is saying it's training versus talent. Now, I'm not going to say that Chev isn't trained, but Chev is trained in handguns and firearms more than he has combat, more than he has hand-to-hand combat. Yamashita is trained in swords. And I don't know. Do you bring a knife to a gunfight?
I mean, I believe in discipline and training.
Did Yamashita ever cut a gun in half?
No, Yamashita actually doesn't really use the sword until the end of Samurai Cop. So,
And that's the thing. The final fights in both Crank and Crank 2 don't involve guns. It's Chev, hand-to-hand combat. So he's going to go hand-to-hand against a guy that has a fucking sword.
Yeah.
I got to give it to Yamashita at this point.
Yeah, you punch him in the face, you're going to break your hand. Like, I don't get how...
Robert Zadar's chin is that powerful. You punch him in the face and break your hand.
I mean, I'm sorry. I've got to give it to Yamashita.
Yeah, I think at this point you've convinced me. I think Yamashita wins this one. Yamashita's gonna fuck Chev Chelios up.
We're already halfway.
I think Chev.
What our standard podcast should be.
Chev is gonna fuck Yamashita up, but Yamashita's gonna win.
Yamashita's gonna come out looking like Maniac Cop. Absolutely.
That's true. You would look like Maniac. Okay. So for the next round, I just changed that to Maniac Cop? No, never mind. It's the moment you've been dreading. Round 6. Jake Donahue from King of the Kickboxers versus Peyton Westlake, Darkman himself.
All right, so what makes this hard is this all comes down to what happens. And it's what would be more likely to happen. So if Peyton wanted to get close to Jake, Peyton would get close to Jake. Peyton would do the Darkman thing, and then it'd probably just be over with. But if Jake is hunting down Darkman the way that happens to King of the Kickboxers, and then we end up with like an actual fight at the end, then it's Jake all the way. Jake will probably Darkman might not feel pain, but Jake will break all of his fucking bones and he won't be able to fight. Because even if you don't feel pain, you can't swing an arm if your arm is broken.
I mean, you could swing it, but you're not going to have use of it. Like that's one of the things that people who can't feel pain, that one of the things is that if they do break something, they don't know it's broken because they don't feel the pain. So they're just like, why has my arm suddenly stopped working?
I absolutely agree with. Go ahead and highlight what Grass Dragon says there, because I mean, yeah, that's exactly the way that I feel about it as well. Like in a straight up fight, Jake's gonna win, but Darkman using traps and guerrilla tactics, yeah. And we're just talking about Peyton Westlake in general, right? So I mean, if we're going off of the first Darkman movie, he's not that spectacular in the first movie. The movie is great, and I like the way that it's shot and everything, but he doesn't get like a lot of his hardcore talents that he eventually grows into after ages of actually fighting crime until some of the later films.
I feel like Peyton would get the drop on Jake, and sometimes that's all you need is to be able to get the drop on Jake. Or get the drop on somebody.
But who beats the Predator? Neither one of these beat the Predator.
But can they beat Mike Harrigan? That's the question. You're looking at Jake and Peyton. Peyton would get the drop on him. But plenty of people in King of the Kickboxers during that movie got the drop on Jake, and Jake was able to fight them off. And I don't think Peyton has the ability to be able to do that.
If I'm just thinking of Darkman versus Predator now, and it'd probably be the most boring thing ever because it would be both of them just trying to set traps for each other and waiting.
Yep. Oh yeah, no. Mythos did bring that up. Peyton has rage. He's got the rage thing going on for him, so he could just rage out and Hulk smash. And that's if Jake does one of those cool ass fucking Taekwondo things where he like fucking breaks his fingers or something like that. Peyton, he doesn't feel pain, but he would be pissed that like, oh my god, you just broke my hand. Fuck you, right? And goes into full on adrenaline fueled rage mode.
So, do you think that Super Rage Darkman would be able to beat Billy Blanks in King of the Kickboxers?
God, that's rage versus rage. It's hard to say
because Jack Donahue beat him. So, whatever it comes down to, it really just depends. In that situation, because
this one's difficult because
there's such a line that can be drawn. The battle can be one way or the other. It really depends.
Well, Jake does overcome Billy Blank's rage.
He does, and then they blow up everything and erase all the evidence. It's fucking stupid that it ends that way, but it does.
But they tried to erase the evidence by blowing up Darkman, and it didn't help either.
That's true. Now I'm just thinking of Billy Blanks' corpse. Like, I've got to edit it now. I've got to make that happen.
It's got to happen. I think that we want to take this one to the audience, see what the audience thinks.
Yeah, I think it's too tight.
Well, we have Mythos is saying that Jake wins.
Okay, so we got one for Jake.
I'm wanting to know what Grassy, because I know Grassy's watching. I know Dakota is watching. I'm thinking also.
So we got one for Peyton.
And I know Dan's watching as well. And there's a fifth person who I haven't seen yet.
They're secret.
Secret Christmas painting.
So Grassy's there's one for Peyton and one for Jake.
Saying, yeah, so we're one for because
I got to give it to Peyton. I think my vote is for Peyton. Whenever it comes down to it,
I'm thinking Jake. I'm really thinking Jake too.
Yeah, but see, could Jake hold on to the rope of a helicopter and be smashed through a building? You know what I mean? Like,
we got another for Peyton. Dakota's saying Peyton.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna give it 30 more seconds. There, we have one last vote. If we don't get another vote to tie it up again, I'm just gonna give it to Peyton. Because this is right now, or because right now it's 3-2. If somebody else comments in the next 10 seconds and says otherwise, yeah, no, I think we just got to give it to Peyton. I think in this particular case, it's 3-2 right now. 3 people are voting Peyton, 2 are voting Jake. God, you know,
how fucked up would it be, like, if somebody just appeared in front of you with your own face and then tried to fight you? Like, could you punch yourself in the face if you were looking yourself in the face?
I could punch myself in the face.
Would you hesitate though?
Never. I've never hesitated to punch myself in the face when I'm mad at myself. You know that. You've seen me do it when I'm pissed.
I think I would hesitate.
Yeah, we're gonna give it to Peyton. God, that's a tough one. Here's one I don't think is going to be as tough. Castor Troy from Face Off versus Jackson from Unmasked Part 25.
Jackson just got to... So the funny thing is there's a scene in Unmasked Part 25 where someone's face gets ripped off.
I know. That's why I thought this one was funny.
And I feel like Jackson would just slaughter Castor. So Jackson is very smooth with the way that he murders people.
They're both psychopaths, though. But
Castor Troy break a lamp and then stab it through someone's chest? I don't think he would.
Yes, that's exactly the kind of thing Castor would do.
I don't think he would.
But Castor is more guns and bombs and explosives. We have to remember that, right? He's more about like nerve gas and he's more tactical than that. But we're talking about one-on-one combat here. And then, yes, I mean, yeah, obviously we're saying that like each character can use all of the tools at their disposal. We have Castor going into one-on-one combat with Jackson. He's going to bring a gun. He's going to bring 2 guns, actually. How does Jackson deal with bullets is the question. Yes, that's the movie we're talking about. Why does that movie cover have Braille on it? That's what I'd like to know.
Because Jackson's girlfriend is fucking blind.
Oh, fuck, you're right. That's awesome. I didn't even think about that. I forgot she was blind. We just talked about her like 3 weeks ago.
Original cover.
I like how they put the original cover on the inside. It's nice. The sleeve is really nice. And I like how it's a reference to Friday the 13th. There is a Friday the 13th Blu-ray cover that looks like... That's awesome. Oh, God, that's awesome. That's such good art.
Vinegar Syndrome makes real nice things.
They do. I mean, Castor's going to bring guns. How does Jackson feel about guns?
I think, we don't...
Does he ever get shot? I don't remember if he gets shot.
He's in England.
Man, they have guns in England. I've seen Snatch.
Blunderbuss. They have blunderbusses in England.
You're thinking of Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Remember he pulls out a fucking in Snatch. Dude pulls out a fucking like
The fact that your gun says replica written down the side of it.
No, I was saying he pulls out a 12. The one guy pulls out a 12-gauge shotgun and blows the fucking roof off.
Yeah, that's the kind of guns that you have in England. I mean, it depends on where depends on where it takes place. I don't know. I happen to think that it's Jackson. I think that Jackson he's a slasher killer. He's not as supernatural as most slasher killers. But
Castor Troy's the kind of guy who will cut his own face off. Like, he does that.
Jackson will rip it off for him. It doesn't matter. And then punch his heart literally out of his chest.
I kind of want
monologue while doing it.
I don't want to just give it to Jackson because I'm thinking about Jason Voorhees, but I kind of want to give it to Jackson just because I'm thinking about Jason Voorhees.
Jackson is Jason Voorhees with a brain, and that's terrifying.
Yeah, you got to think about it from that perspective. He's basically Jason Voorhees, but with intelligence.
With a lot of intelligence.
This is a very classy guy.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad his dad is an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
Which, like, if Jason's dad had been around, I'm sure he would have been an asshole, too. That almost happened.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Jackson is also genre aware. He would be like, what's going to happen is I'm going to have to murder you. And then he's going to do it.
And Castor would pull out a gun and Jackson would just be like, no.
You're going to shoot me. I'm going to fall down. You're not going to finish it. Then I'm going to come back up and I'm going to kill you. It happens every time. He would say some shit like that.
Yeah.
And it would happen.
Yep. Yeah, well, we're going to give it to Jackson. I think Jackson wins this one, for sure. All right. Now the final match of the first round. Round 8. Brooke Bardo from Blood Match versus Tiny Jackson from Bloodsport. It's yes, it's the blood match. It's the blood feud. Again, this was random. I did not do this on purpose. This came out awesome. So I have Brooke Bardo from Blood Match, who is played by Tom Matthews, versus Tiny Jackson from Bloodsport, who is played by Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds, Don Gibb.
Yep. I love Tom Matthews. Tom Matthews is wonderful. Tom Matthews is great. Tom Matthews is not even that great in Blood Match. I'm sorry. Tiny Jackson would kick his ass.
I don't know. Because I'm kind of thinking about it. Like, could Tiny Jackson couldn't even kick fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme's ass. I'm not saying
but neither could Brooke Bardo. Like, whenever it come to Blood Match, 90% of what Tom Matthews did in Blood Match was talk to people from the ring. He wasn't that great of a fighter.
When he actually did the fights, though, I mean, he beat a fuck ton of people.
Yeah, but none of them are Jean-Claude Van Damme.
He loses to that one dude at the very end of the movie. And I'm just saying that, like, I think Tiny would have his work cut out for him fighting against Brooke Bardo. Remember, we're not talking Don Gibb versus Tom Matthews. Don Gibb would ruin his shit.
Oh, yeah, he'd eat him.
Tom Matthews would get the fucking piss beat out of him by Don Gibb, and it would not be pretty. But we're talking about Brooke Bardo versus Tiny Jackson, and I think that's important to point out that Tiny Jackson is... Damn it, Dakota, don't...
That's why I want him to win!
Damn it, Dakota, don't influence my... That's what Dakota
That's
said.
why I want him to win! That is why I want him to win!
God damn it. That's influencing my vote. We have to go off of what we know.
All right, so if we go off of what we know, I guess you are correct.
I think Brooke Bardo.
Yeah, like Brooke Bardo loses to one person.
But Tiny
and Tiny loses to a couple of people.
But at the same exact time, you also got to remember that Brooke Bardo
wasn't in the Kumite.
Exactly. In fact, the whole entire thing, if I remember from Blood Batch, is the whole entire thing is that he's pissed off because somebody killed his sister. Is that what it was?
I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm about to fucking look this up just because I'm curious now. I think it's they killed his sister or something, and he's pissed.
And it's fucked up because we might end up watching fucking Blood Fist next week, and that's just going to make the blood even more confusing because they're all about martial arts tournaments.
Yeah, all of these are. No, it's his brother. That's his brother.
Right.
And so he's fighting these people because they're all the people who are he's fighting these people because they're all people who are responsible for his brother's death, right? Brooke is kind of the
which came out first.
Kind of the good
Blood
guy.
Match or Doll Man? Same year. That's fucking weird.
What is that weird?
Because Doll Man's name is also Brick Bardo, and they came out of the same year.
I didn't even notice that. That's a good thing I put the movie titles in here, or else we would have been really confused.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, I was like, isn't Doll Man's name Brick? And then I looked it up, and it's literally the same name, same year. If we go off of when it was released.
It's
wow. Okay.
Okay.
So, in the U.S., August, and then November. So.
All right. I want to point this out because I just read this because I had to go back and refresh myself on Blood Match. We have to remember that Brick cheats.
Yes.
Tiny doesn't cheat, but Brick's cheating is that he messes with people's heads. He ties them up. He's actually like, you know, he does the thing where he's like, he throws knives at them and shit like that. If we're talking a straight up Kumite style tournament match, I think Tiny Jackson has the advantage over Brick because he can't cheat. If he tries to cheat, everybody that's at the Kumite will beat the fuck out of him.
But I'm with Dan. Doll Man wins.
But that's not Doll Man.
Yeah. I don't know. I still stand for Tiny Jackson. I think that Tiny Jackson would win. Tiny Jackson made it to the fucking Kumite. That's all I'm saying, dude. Like, and was so well respected that in the second Kumite, he was able to sponsor somebody to be in the Kumite. So,
yeah.
And we watched both of those, so that is part of the canon. Like, whenever I put him on a list, I specifically said from Bloodsport or Bloodsport 2.
Yeah. And we have to, and we're talking about just the characters. Like, we're not saying specifically this movie, but I'm just using that. I'm using the first movie of each series whenever I put these in. I don't. You know what? I'm going to give it to Tiny Jackson for one specific thing. And it's this line here that's about the plot of Blood Match. Brick reveals to Connie the whole truth. He's actually Wood Wilson. He survived being viciously beaten by Brent 5 years ago and his face changed through plastic surgery. That never happened to Tiny Jackson. Tiny Jackson didn't have to get reconstructive fucking surgery. Okay, well, you know, he didn't lose that badly. So
this is what I have to say about that.
Fucking piss beaten out of him.
There you go.
He didn't get reconstructive surgery though.
No, but he's happy.
He just walked out of there looking like fucking Mankind.
That is.
I'm gonna give it to Tiny Jackson. I'm gonna give it to Tiny Jackson.
He's celebrating for us. He's giving us a good old thumbs up.
Audrey discovered that OBS is virtual cam tonight.
Yeah, so now I have control of things that I can do.
I keep saying I'm gonna make you a admin on here. It's just complicated and it's fucking that's one of the things you need to fix, StreamYard. Please just make it so that I can just like click on somebody and make them an admin rather than having to give them my login details and have to be sitting around waiting to hit a button when that happens. It's not. Anyway, all right. So now we're going to move on to the second quarter. Now with the second quarter, we're going to be bringing back some people from the first quarter. We're going to bring back all the winners from the first quarter, and we are going to have them fight. And round 9 is Defense from Falling Down versus Mike Harrigan from Predator.
Mike Harrigan. There's no fight here.
Defense, unfortunately, when he does come face to face with a cop, lets the cop just fucking shoot.
He can't even beat a cop.
At that point, in the movie, he didn't even have his bag of guns anymore. He still had them. He ignored them, and just all he had was a water pistol. But he didn't even try. He actually faked the cop out into doing suicide by cop. I think you put defense up against a cop, it's over with.
Yeah.
I hate
Mike
to give
Arrogant
it.
wins.
I gotta give it to Mike.
Just
that
shuffle that one right through. That one's easy.
But now we have Ogami.
That one's not hard either. that Lone Wolf.
You don't even want to talk about it.
I don't have to. The amount of traps that Lone Wolf gets his way. So the only way that Otis is going to get near Lone Wolf is if they do some shit like the bathhouse kind of thing that ends up getting fucking Lone Wolf. And in that, who wins? Lone Wolf always comes out on top. You cannot trick the Lone Wolf with your traps.
All right, I'm gonna give it to Otis.
Why?
Or not Otis. I'm sorry. I'm gonna give it. Fuck, I hit the wrong button. I'm gonna give it to Ito. I'm gonna say Otis loses. That was my bad. That was my mistake. Here's why I'm saying that I'm screwing that up. Because we've been going for like 46 minutes, and I know we always try to do an hour and stuff, but I gotta pee like really fucking bad all of a sudden.
Okay.
I swear, I gotta get the pod catheter. That's what I gotta get. I gotta get the pod catheter. So what I'm gonna do is I don't have a commercial or anything to run, so I'm just gonna put you up on full screen, and
I'm gonna put a picture of fries spinning around, and then I'll talk over the fries.
There you go. Do that, and then I'm gonna come back.
So, how's everybody doing tonight? That's wonderful. I'm glad to hear that everyone is doing well. You know, these fries, they look really crispy, but also really salty. And I'm quite curious. Maybe they're considered chips, right? Because that looks like a piece of newspaper. And in that situation, I've always thought that the mixtures of fries and newspaper have a lot to do with the whole fish and chips side of things. So maybe these aren't fries. Maybe these are chips. Let me go ahead and put up some real fries instead of some chips. Oh, there we go. Those are fries. It doesn't matter. These are crinkle cut, which means they're good for dipping. Quite enjoy dipping my fries. Oh, I think he's returned.
Out of curiosity, has it just been the same like thing of fries over and over and over again?
No. See, we've discovered something specifically.
Okay.
That the first batch was likely chips instead of fries, as there was newspaper, and newspaper indicates that it's probably from fish and chips. So I switched it to this picture of fries instead, because this one is clearly crinkle cut fries. You don't call those crinkle cut chips, because those are Ruffles, and Ruffles have ridges.
Okay. Oh God, yeah. The problem, one of the big problems was that I couldn't pee before the show because we had to do a birthday message for a friend of mine. So, and then when we finished that, we had to start the show. So,
well, see, the newspaper being what's used to dab the grease of fries is typically what you would see in a fish and chips shop. That is what it is notoriously linked to, their boat. So in that situation, that was my assumption, given what they were using to collect the grease. Now, Grass Dragon says that there's a Mex-inspired chain down there called Salsas, and they do Mexi crinkles. Crinkle-cut fries coated in a mild spice powder. I hope it's tahini. I would eat them.
That kind of reminds me of like Taco Bell fries. They need to stop getting rid of those. I mean,
they're back. Go eat them. Go get them now.
But they're going to go away again.
Well, they're bringing back potatoes full time in March. So
we got another really difficult one for you. You have Yamashita versus Peyton Westlake.
I think Yamashita would lop off some limbs, but I don't necessarily think that would stop Peyton.
That's the thing, is I don't think it would. It would, but at the same exact time, we're talking about Peyton dealing with. Let me ignore that. There was construction going on in my house. You'd have to deal with Peyton. Peyton is going after another. He's going after another crime syndicate, basically, with Yamashita. So that ups the ante a bit in his favor. I'm kind of thinking. I'm leaning Peyton.
Yeah, Peyton kind of his thing is specifically taking down gangs, crime syndicates, and I mean, well, we're only talking about Darkman 1, right? Given the rules and confines.
Well, no. I said I'm only using the title of the first film. I think it's the characters as a whole.
Yeah, but the characters as a whole doesn't make any sense if we're doing based on Scrubhaus, because we haven't watched 2 or 3. So in that situation,
I got you.
Technically,
I like what you're saying there. So if for example, if I used Predator instead of Mike Harrigan, we could only use Predator from Predator 2 because we've never seen Predator 1.
Right.
Okay, we're not using Predator though because that's technically supernatural.
Right.
It's not magic, but you know.
He's a space alien.
He's gonna win every fucking time, unless you're Mike Harrigan.
So in that situation, that leads me to want to bring up the fact that technically he didn't beat Peyton, or Peyton didn't beat Durant, and at the end of the movie we see that as well. Like Durant just kind of got his ass kicked. That was about it. That wouldn't stop him. So whenever it makes things very, very difficult, doesn't it?
Yeah, but at the same exact time, like the reason why Durant lives is because Peyton can't finish the job because he drops Peyton from a very high height. There's no way he can run down there. And plus he then had to go like rescue his girlfriend and everything because of the fucking douchebaggy attorney guy. So look at all the other people that he had. Like the one guy that he, at the end of the movie, the very last guy that he kills is the fucking. He's like, Peyton, you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it. You're too good. You're too goody two shoes. And he's just all like, I'm beginning to live with a lot of things. He said, yeah, you wouldn't be able to live with yourself. He's like, I'm beginning to live with a lot of things. He just drops his ass. So if given the opportunity, I think Peyton would fuck Yamashita up. But the problem is he has to get to Yamashita first.
I don't think he'd have a problem.
Yamashita has a sword, and it would end up looking like that fucking scene from
he would Darkman his way to it though. Right?
Yeah,
like,
but once they actually start fighting, because Peyton isn't just gonna like walk up and shoot him in the fucking skull like he should. He's gonna walk up and first he's gonna screw with his business and piss him off and do all this other crazy shit to him. Then he's gonna try to fist fight him. And Yamashita's gonna basically Holy Grail his ass. He's gonna be like the Black Knight. It's gonna be Darkman just being all like, I'll nibble your.
Yeah, I mean, actually, you're right. I do believe he would, but he would continue to try to attack.
Yeah, but it's just like with the Black Knight. It's like dude, your arm's off.
But I feel like he would.
I like the idea of Peyton just with one arm, just being all like, "Come on, fight me."
I feel like that Dan is correct though. It would be a situation where he's already equated for things. He would pre-plan.
So you're thinking that Peyton would show up as Yama's number 2. He'd show up as Yamashita's number 2. And take his sword and get rid of it right at it would be right at the 89-minute mark. He would smack the sword away from him and he'd look at him like, why the hell did you just do that?
And then he would do the big grin thing and then his face will be all fucking bubbly. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it would just be a fist fight at that point. So who wins if it's just a fist fight at that point?
Well, Darkman can't feel pain. He's going to break his hands on Robert Zadar's jaw, but
he doesn't care. Unlike Jack Donahue would, or not Jack Donahue, Chev Chelios would care.
Yeah,
Chev
I
Chelios
think that Yamashita
now.
would eventually at least retreat, and it would continue that way. It would be a situation where Yamashita would start not being able to inflict any damage and would start taking damage of his own. We see in Samurai Cop, he retreats. That's what's going to happen. Peyton Westlake
Peyton ain't going to let him
this.
retreat. Peyton ain't going to let him retreat. He tries to run away. Peyton's going to fucking string his ass up and drop him off a fucking building. I would give it to Darkman.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Darkman wins another one. Fantastico. All right, so that one.
There's a clear
Jackson
winner here.
versus Jackson.
I don't think that this one is hard at all.
I don't either. It's just funny. We have to give it to Jackson.
We have to give it to Jackson.
Fucking straight murder Tiny Jackson.
Here, I'll just go ahead and do this. We got to give it to Jackson.
Jesus fuck, when did you make that?
Like 20 seconds ago.
Oh, what the hell is wrong with you?
Look,
I love it.
I have a necessary talent. But Huge Jackson is going to be small. That's the problem. The existence of Tiny Jackson does indeed imply the existence of Huge Jackson, but it's like Tiny Lister.
So are you saying that there's like 3 levels of Jackson? Like there's Huge Jackson, Jackson, and Tiny Jackson?
Yes, but one of them is a serial killer that wears a mask.
No, but you said there's a Huge Jackson.
Yes, Huge Jackson is Vern Troyer.
Huge Jackson, and then Tiny Jackson. So you say it's Vern Troyer plays Huge Jackson?
not to be confused with Hugh Jackman.
Vern Troyer passed away. Wait, was that in the comments?
Yeah, both.
Okay.
You know, Hugh Jackman implies small Jackman exists. Yes, I think.
Go Ackman. You ever seen that game?
I've played those games.
I've
read the manga. Yep, quite well versed in Akira Toriyama's dabble into the son of the devil, and his battles with angels.
God is a groovy dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and the head of the Angel Police.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's a little controversial.
Yep.
The reason those games weren't brought to the States.
We're just gonna go ahead and do this again, just so you're aware of who won.
He won. But I'm on this thing now where I want to know who's Huge Jackson, and you said Vern Troyer, but Vern Troyer's passed away. R.I.P.
Right.
You know who's still alive?
Warwick Davis.
Right. Warwick Davis. And I like him more than Peter Dinklage. So Warwick Davis is Huge Jackson.
I think that Peter Dinklage is awesome.
I like Warwick Davis.
He's a very good actor.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage though would be more akin to doing something like that.
God,
though.
I hope that Peter Dinklage.
I want to write a movie.
Melvin. I hope that he is playing normal Melvin in the Toxic Avenger. That's who I want him to play. I want him to be who Melvin was before he turned into the Toxic Avenger. I want that to be the joke. Please let that happen.
That would be amazing. Holy shit, if Peter Dinklage is just like mopping
because
floor.
He's in it. We know that he got signed for it, so it's like I want him to be Melvin.
Who plays him after he gets hit with the toxic waste though?
Schwarzenegger was actually tied to that role for like over a decade. I don't know who they have there now, but yeah, Schwarzenegger was really invested and wanted to be part of the Toxic Avenger reboot, but he's probably got a little too old, so who knows?
Deep Roy?
Deep Roy could do it.
Huge Jackson. Deep Roy is Huge Jackson. And I don't know what would that movie be called?
I don't know.
It's just a little person beating the shit out of people for like an hour and a half. It's Mighty Mouse.
I don't even want to think about it. Let's move forward. We've hit the hour mark, and we are on to our.
We are on our semifinals.
Semifinals.
Yes, we are on the semifinals. We have Mike Harrigan from Predator 2 versus Ogami Ito from Lone Wolf and Cub. I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator.
I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator. I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator. I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator. I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator. I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator. I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator. I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator. I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator. I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator. I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator. I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator. I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator. I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator. I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator. I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator. I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator. I think the Lone Wolf could also beat the Predator. I think the Lone Wolf could
That's where we're in a bit of an issue here, though.
Samurais have
They can
beaten
both.
predators in the past, yeah. So it's like I think
both
that,
beat predators,
sure,
and they both are good at not only hand-to-hand combat but setting up traps.
I think it depends on who's being isekai'd where. I think that if Lone Wolf ends up in modern New York, Lone Wolf is fucked, right? But if Mike Harrigan ends up in feudal Japan, Mike Harrigan is fucked.
We never established that previously.
We forgot a rule.
Yeah, we should have established this earlier. Damn it. Because most of our characters, I'm looking through the list, most of our characters are in modern times. The only two that really aren't, two that aren't, are Lone Wolf and Cub and the Rollerblade 7.
Mm-hmm.
That would be Ogami and Hawk. They've already fought each other. And
Hawk
we went off
died.
We went off of the idea that they would have a sword fight, but we're talking about Mike Harrigan here. Mike Harrigan has a trunk full of weapons and testicles the size of a city bus. He doesn't fucking care. He will fight anybody anywhere. But the problem is that he uses his environment to his advantage. He does that several times.
The Lone Wolf also has testicles the size of a truck, and you'll probably see them.
Yeah. He gets naked a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
Mike almost got naked that one time.
Yes. That is also true.
This one's difficult. Because we never established whether or not they were fighting in a neutral space or in a certain time period. So let's discuss that real quick. Are they fighting in modern? Most of our guys are modern times. So are we saying that Ogami Ito got transported to modern times? Going off of the rest of this.
Beastmastered.
He got Beastmastered. He got Quantum Leap.
He got Masters of the Universe.
Yes. Bill and Ted went and got him in the time machine, brought him to the future.
That's why he doesn't have his kid.
Because he got San Dimas.
Yeah, he got San Dimas. But San Dimas in 2021.
Ugh.
So he's like wearing a COVID mask.
Everybody got San Dimas in 2021.
Oh my God. I'm just now thinking of Robert Zadar wearing a COVID mask.
How big of a mask would that fucking be? It would just be like a little fucking napkin. Like this.
That is a fucking weird thought, man.
He wouldn't be able to cover up his nose.
He'd be that person that swears by the gator.
Yep. He'd have to have the gator.
Right.
Or you'd have one of those plastic masks over his face. They can't
just walk around looking like Cobra Commander.
Exactly. So are we saying that Ogami gets teleported to the future? Does he get Dr. Proton?
I mean, I guess he would have to, given the stack up. But in that situation, I mean, I think that he would naturally be the loser because he would be in a very unfamiliar territory.
And Mike would just shoot him.
Mike would just shoot him. And that's an unfortunate matchup, but that's just how it goes sometimes.
And in hand-to-hand combat, I think Mike would beat his ass, take his sword away from him, and fucking stab him with it too.
I don't think that would happen in hand-to-hand combat.
Does that to the fucking Predator?
Yeah, but I think Ito could also
weapons against him. So
if you put both of them in Victorian London, as Dan requests, I think that the Lone Wolf would win unless Mike ended up somehow being sent there with his guns. I think that the guns are the deciding factor in this situation. It comes down to what weaponry is being used.
Firearms. They both use firearms. If we put them in Victorian London, you got to remember, Mike does have a flintlock pistol, and he knows how to use it. I mean, we never see him.
Okay, that's true.
Instantly, and it's like, oh, this is cool. So
that's true.
He hasn't firearms. I think if you put him in Victorian London, he's still gonna because Ogami's still gonna want to fucking fight with the damn sword.
He might shoot if he has his baby cart. His baby cart shot.
He doesn't have the baby cart.
We know that he's not afraid to use firearms. It's just that he doesn't have them.
It's just Lone Wolf, not the Cub, so he doesn't have the baby cart with him.
It's just like the idea with a ninja, though, right? Like ninjas would shoot people. Like he just doesn't have them.
Fire and everything,
but he would be less of a marksman than Mike would. Therefore, Mike would still come out on top.
I think it would end up being like that one scene in Indiana Jones. Like Ogami would just be like, I have the sword. I'm going to... And Mike would just be like, fuck you.
Mike would win,
and
then would leave him laying there, and then would hand him some kind of weapon, because Mike is now the predator.
Yeah, but I do want to point out, Ogami isn't out of this yet. He can't win first place, but there is a third place, so he's going to be coming back. Meanwhile, round 14, we have Peyton Westlake versus Jackson.
I think they're
both very similar.
Jackson has more of a control in reality. Jackson is more learned.
Yes.
Jackson is more... Jackson...
Street smarts versus book smarts, though.
Peyton Westlake is also smart, but Peyton lets... Okay, so Peyton lets the rage drive him.
Yeah.
Jackson has given in to what he is and accepts it for what it is and understands it. Therefore, whenever it comes down to it, Jackson is going to be far more in control of this fight than Peyton is.
God damn, that's a really good point. But
you don't have to worry about feeling pain if the person literally punches your heart out of your chest.
God damn, that's But oh man. Do we give it to Jackson?
We get that's I love Dark Man. I have a shrine. I would show you the shrine. I don't feel like showing you the shrine.
But it's God damn no. I mean, because on one hand you're right, but on the other hand, we're gonna get to a really interesting scenario coming up in the finals. Because
this is what happens when you take more than an hour.
Unlike Castor Troy, Mike can actually fight. So, okay. So I guess we're doing this. We're doing this. Jackson's winning. I hate to say it, but it's the same thing we talked about when we talked about whether or not what would happen with Peyton versus Yamashita. And it was the whole entire thing of Peyton. Peyton will get the drop on Yamashita, but you got to remember Jackson's genre savvy. He's gonna be like, I know you're there. I know you're not my friend. Jackson doesn't have any friends. Peyton can't sneak up on him.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson has no friends. If his dad suddenly showed up out of the blue, Jackson would be suspicious.
Yep.
Yeah, no, we have to give it to Jackson.
Have to give it to Jackson.
We absolutely have to. That's wow. That's weird. Wow. So okay, all right. Now, give me just a second, because I have to make the new banner for round 15. But wow, what have you thought about the brackets so far and everything that's happened? This has been a lot of fun.
So I mean, I like this. This is a really good idea, and I think it's something that we should definitely revisit once we've watched some different films.
Yeah, some other films. Yeah, and we still have like 4 years of Scrubhaus stuff to go back to.
Yeah,
we can bring this up again. Yeah. Why did that not? Hold on. Oh, because no. Why did that not update? They needed to update. It didn't update. There it goes. Okay. So, this is going to be really interesting. This is going to be really interesting third place match. Okay. All right. So we have round 15. Well, actually, you know what? We're going to do round 16 first. We're going to do the third place match first. That's the way I'm going to do this. We have Ogami Ito from Lone Wolf and Cub versus Peyton Westlake. Oops. I forgot to put the verses in there. Hold on. There we go. That looks better. Versus Peyton Westlake, Darkman. This is almost literally the same fight we had earlier. Because Peyton went up against Yamashita. The difference is Ogami's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a better
because he's a good guy, he has the whole idea. Peyton wouldn't continue with a good guy, I don't believe. I feel like this is a situation where
Ogami would fuck his world up.
He would.
Peyton Peyton would hesitate. He wouldn't want to. Now, if Peyton's rage takes over, because Peyton does, have his rage, and his rage does make him do stupid things, but Yamashita would seriously be like, no, right? He would just be like, he would just be like, I'm not, he would go in there and he would just try to fight Peyton like normal. He would let his own rage take over, and then he would try to run, right? Ogami wouldn't. Peyton would do his rage thing, and Ogami would just step out of the way. It'd be like that time I tried to fight a Marine.
Yeah, you can go ahead and bring that up if you want.
I'm sorry, they're doing construction at the house. They would. I'm thinking it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same way. Like when I got so drunk, I tried to fight a Marine, and when I went to throw a punch at him, he just stepped out of the way and let me fall. That's what Ogami would do. But Peyton would be all like, "Ah!" and try to hit him, and Ogami would just be like, that would be it. He'd fucking stab him, and that would be it. It would just be sword, done. And then Peyton would turn into a blood geyser. So that
is kind of where that started. So yeah.
I think it would be Lone Wolf and Cub would get third place. What do you think?
I think you are correct.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Ogami wins that round. But now we go on to our finals. Our very final. For first and second place, we have Mike Harrigan versus Jackson.
Jackson shows no mercy. Jackson is very.
Wait a minute. The Predator does show mercy.
Mm-hmm. Predator shows mercy.
But
the fact that the Predator showed mercy was one of the things that made the Predator lose. That situation,
Mike doesn't show mercy though.
Yes,
that is two guys who literally fight to the fucking death, and they don't give a fuck.
One of them is well versed in murder. The other one,
it's a cop.
But he's a good cop.
Let me rephrase that. One of them was well versed in murder, and the other one's Jackson.
No, I think that whenever it comes down to it, Jackson clearly wins this.
Yeah,
who'd win? A cop?
No, I think this is no. I think Mike's got it.
I absolutely disagree. Absolutely disagree.
I think Mike's got it. I think
Mike would shoot Jackson. It would be the same thing that would happen. All right, Jackson knows how this ends. Jackson will make it in.
The difference being is that Caster will let somebody live because it makes him suffer. He will set up traps and stuff, or not traps. He'll set up like bombs. Mike will fucking. You want to fucking try to stab me with a machete? I'll take that machete away from you and fuck you up. I'm gonna fucking shoot you.
You're not gonna take his machete away. He's fucking Jackson. That shit's not happening.
Mike uses the Predator's own weapons against him. I think this is gonna be an audience vote, and the problem is I know that some of our audience hasn't seen Unmasked.
No, in this situation, I think that you're way bolstering the power of Mike.
I think
you're way bolstering the power of Mike in this situation.
He killed a predator.
He killed a predator in the predator's moment of weakness, which is something that Jackson never shows.
Jackson does show weakness
to a woman.
Yes,
a vulnerability. Yeah, that's a love life. That's not something that Mike is going to find out. That's not something that Mike would exploit. He's not a bad guy. He's a good guy. And whenever it comes down to the fight in itself, I think that Mike would lose because Jackson would murder him with literally anything he could find around, and he would not stop until he was dead.
Is Mike... Well, let's clarify something here. Mike is a good guy, but let's go with the D&D alignment chart here. Because Mike is a cop, but he's not lawful good. He breaks the rules tons of times. He lies to people. He goes behind people's backs. Him and his entire crew do. They totally screw the FBI.
They don't regularly murder people just to murder people.
No, but that's the other thing too. Mike fights for justice. If he was going up against Jackson is a murderer, just like the Predator. He's like a Terminator that goes after only evil people. And not to say that Jackson's particularly evil, but at the same exact time, he does murder fairly indiscriminately because he's been taught his
with
entire
any
life.
and everything that he can find. We also know that he is good at sneaking up on people. We know that he can rip your face off. We know that he can stab you through a wall. We know that he is not discriminate on what he will murder you with. I really think that there is literally no way in hell that Mike Harrigan is going to get the upper hand on Jackson. I do not believe that it is possible.
Mike Harrigan is just as sneaky. As far as murdering indiscriminately, he does fucking go through that when he's going through the drug cartel building. Every time somebody comes out of a fucking closet, if they so much as look like a gangbanger, he just fucking shoots them. Like, doesn't even ask questions. The guy does not have any belief in fucking Miranda rights, will fight anybody. And he just literally doesn't give a fuck. As long as he gets his man, he doesn't care. He even sets up fucking poor, what's his name, to die. Doesn't set him up to die, but he just lets him die. Like, all he does is he's just kind of like, no, don't do that, Gary Busey. Whatever.
You would let Gary Busey die too.
Jackson would murder Gary Busey.
Yes.
Mike just lets Gary Busey die. But
yes.
it's again, because Mike literally says it in the film, your funeral. Right?
Who has the most power? Who has the most power? Who is the most powerful?
Are we talking physical?
Yes.
Oh,
answer that question. Who punched a heart out of someone's chest? Who ripped someone's face off? Who stabbed 2 people through the wall? Who fucking stabbed a goddamn pole lamp through somebody? Obviously, Jackson has the power.
But so did the Predator.
Jackson could kill the Predator. That's what I'm getting at here.
But that's what we're saying here. Mike, all those things that you just said apply to the Predator. Mike could. All right, I think we're going to audience vote on this. Dakota has already gone with Jackson.
It's Jackson. It's fucking Jackson.
I want to know what Grassy thinks. And I want to know what Boat thinks. Did Boat watch both these movies with us?
I don't think Boat has seen Unmasked, and likely has not seen Predator 2.
I know Dakota has. I know Grassy has, and I know Mythos has. And Dan, I'm pretty sure, has seen at least Predator 2. Jackson's not a hard character to grasp. Like we said earlier, he's Jason Voorhees with a brain living in London. That's basically it.
Yes.
He has all the same powers as living Jason, he's not undead Jason. So no teleportation. I just
don't see how Mike has the ability to take down Jackson. I just don't see that in my mind of minds.
Why it's such a good fight. It's such a close fight. Look, even Grassy said, I have to give it to Mike as much as it pains me.
I want an explanation on that, because your explanation wasn't good enough for me, Skunk, obviously, because I don't see it the way that you see it.
I mean, again, Jackson's on par with the Predator in hand-to-hand combat. The only difference that the Predator has over Jackson.
The Predator was doing it sporting. Hold on. The Predator was hunting. Jackson is slaughtering. There is a fucking difference between hunting a deer and fucking just trying to murder every animal you see.
True. The Predator had advanced technology on his side. Jackson doesn't. And Mike still fucking beat the Predator. So I just don't see it as... I think Jackson's super tough, right? Like Boat said. Yeah, Boat confirms, by the way, what you said. Jackson is tough, but Boat's never seen either film. I'm going to count that as a vote for Jackson. Dan says Jackson would win unless Mike was really lucky, and we're not going off of luck. We're going off of pure skill here. So far,
that's everyone.
4 out of the 5 people that are watching. Mythos is the only one who hasn't commented, and I don't know where the hell she went. But
there's no way for you to win.
I'm going to give it to Is there? I'm saying Mike.
It looks like Jackson has it.
Grassy's saying Mike. You're saying yeah. So even because that would be out of 7. Best of 7.
So do you know what that means?
That means Jackson is... You're going to show the picture again. Oh, my God. I'm going to full screen that. Hold on.
Raparoo. I knew what I was doing.
Out of curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
if Mike had happened to win, did you have one ready for Mike?
No. As we were getting close and it seemed like that, I actually Googled Danny Glover's face and I was going to throw it on there instead. But I did not actually get to do that.
Oh, good, goddamn. So,
aren't you glad I'm using OBS?
So here's our final standings. Jackson 4-0. Mike was 3-, or they're all 3-1. Yeah, everybody only lost once. It was a single elimination tournament. But Jackson from Unmasked Part 25 is in first place. Mike Harrigan from Predator 2 is in second, and Ogami Ito from Lone Wolf and Cub is in third. And here's the bracket for everybody who wants to see it.
And there are a lot of characters that we could have put on here that we didn't.
So many. For
instance, I could have said Samurai Cop himself, Joe, and he's such a Mary Sue. Who knows how that would have went?
There was a couple that I thought about, but I'm gonna save them. I'm gonna save the ones I thought about because I want to do this again. I want to do this again in the future, and I want to do it again with the idea that instead of doing. Because what we did with this one was we basically did main characters. Did main. They were either the main characters or they were the main bad guys. I'd like to do this again with secondary and tertiary characters.
Oh, Yamashita was a secondary character. Yamashita's not the main bad guy, Samurai Cop.
Is he not? I thought he was.
No, he's just the main henchman.
I thought he was the head of the crime syndicate.
No, there's somebody that was above him, the old Asian guy.
I would like to do this again with like secondary and tertiary characters. I've got a few in my head that I'm thinking about. Like,
I think that makes it a little more complicated for us. So as much as I like, you think, oh damn, it's just fucking flashing.
I know it's Godzilla versus Biollante. I mean, it's gonna be like that.
So I say next time we don't do that next time. Next time, what we need to do is we need to bring in a third person, because whenever it comes to just us two, the only way that we can break that tie is whenever we go into chat. And if we had a third person with us, there would never be a tie.
It would be interesting if the problem is like you said, we cannot do anybody who's magic. Like magic automatically fails.
Oh, we can do people that are magic, but we have to lump all of them together. It would have to be a tournament of supernatural.
And it gets into complicated shit though. It's like when their powers work, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
Well, we can discuss that. We can make it a smaller tournament, like 8.
The same as 8. Just 8.
Yeah, and then Munchie wins. It's fine.
It would be Munchie every fucking time. Or like, I mean, if I really wanted to throw a fucking did we watch Wishmaster?
Yeah, we did.
It would be like, it would basically come down to like Munchie, Wishmaster, Freddy.
Godzilla would eat Deadpool. Dan asked Deadpool versus Godzilla.
Yeah,
Godzilla would eat Deadpool, and then Deadpool would cut his way out of Godzilla, and then they would both go their own separate ways.
Yeah.
No,
knowing Deadpool's humor, Godzilla would literally poop Deadpool out.
Or something.
He would make a lizard poop joke, and we'd move on.
Yeah. He would reference the Godzilla movie from 1998. That's what he would do. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And if you think about it from the perspective of like Deadpool. They did a Deadpool versus Cell video on Team 4-Star.
Mhm.
I see. You can do the whole hand gesture. Go ahead. But I do want to point out that at the end of that, Deadpool just gave up. Like he was maybe he didn't give up. I mean, it was Logan threatened him. Wolverine threatened him. But it was the whole entire thing of like Deadpool literally can't die, so he's just it's a war of attrition. It's not like he's going to be able to kill Godzilla. Godzilla's way more powerful than him. It's the same way that Cell's way more powerful than Deadpool. So it would just come down to just like Godzilla just being all like, "You're annoying." He wouldn't be able to say annoying. He would go.
Well, no, he would say "screonk" because the noise that he makes canonically is known as a screonk.
Okay. Well, I don't know how to pronounce it. Don't flip me off, and don't flip off our audience either.
I wasn't flipping off the audience. I'm sorry, audience, if you think that was rude. I was flipping off the skunk rocker. Yes. You could all flip him off as well, and he won't be able to see it. It's great because you're not on camera. Adversely, you could flip me off, and I wouldn't care even if you did it to my face.
And I know everybody in chat. I wouldn't care if any of them flipped me off. Now, if
you care that I flipped you off?
Yeah, I do care that you flipped me off.
You can't stop me. You're not my real dad.
That's all right. I don't want to be. So since we still got 30 minutes left.
We don't have 30 minutes left. We're 30 minutes over.
We're 30 minutes over, but I figure we're probably going to end up going the whole 2 hours tonight because of how long this episode was, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, but I figure we'll let's do some pop culture news.
I don't have any. Do you have any?
Yeah, Phil Spector died. Fuck that guy.
Phil Spector died. Oh wait, no, we totally have some news here. I'm just gonna go ahead and
Phil Spector died. And fuck Phil Spector.
I'm gonna go ahead and find this picture.
Is it the story I was just about to bring up? Because I'm curious.
No. I've got to wade through all of my pictures of.
You're gonna bring it up on your
Jushin Thunder Liger.
You're gonna bring it up on your thing, though, aren't you? I'm gonna have to full screen Illinois.
I'm just if you want to, you can. You can go ahead and do it now.
Well, I mean I'll do this. How about that? And I'll just bring you over here so you're bigger.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to say, check out this cool picture from the new Mortal Kombat film.
We're about to fucking bring it up.
Yeah.
The first images from the R-rated Mortal Kombat film have come out, and I'm not saying the only thing I've said is that the one scene with Liu Kang and Kung Lao looks really weird, but the rest of the film looks like it's going to be the rest.
I'm going to pull up that one right now.
Yeah, the rest of the special effects look really fucking badass. Especially because you can tell the ice sword that he's building. That's CGI. You can tell, but it looks really fucking good.
I still say this is in movement, so you're not going to see a still frame like that.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to pause like that, so I don't really think that there's much to worry about. So yeah, we have these. The one thing that I'm apprehensive about is Kano without the metal plate over his eyes. That's a little weird, but
I'm really hoping that part of his skin gets ripped off and you see the metal underneath. I just want it to be for like more than just like one scene of the film. So that's a big deal.
Also, another thing.
Very excited about that.
Nox Video shirts are available at dismembersonly.com.
This shirt is so awesome, and I can't tell you how much I'm super jelly. Super jelly.
Buy them. They're for sale.
I'm gonna get one, I swear.
And for the people that are watching, I do have a coupon code on Dismembers Only. It's dismembersonly.com. And this is my buddy Mike, who will likely show up on here at some point. Kind of the mixture of everyone in the Knoxville area, as well as Scrubhaus Video Club. We are Knox Video, so that does include like Skunk Rocker and the like. So,
even though I'm in Chattanooga, I still help out.
Yeah. And it is code RAD21. That's RAD21. And that'll get you 21% off of your Knox Video shirt at dismembersonly.com.
If you go to Dismembers Only, use this promo code. Use promo code RAD21
at dismembersonly.com.
Dismembersonly.com.
And yeah, that is the actual color. There's not any trick of anything going on there. They are that bright. They are that rad. And they are a limited time thing. So go and get yours. And I think there's one more thing. Give me a second here.
Well, there's one thing I want to bring up.
While we're waiting, we'll just have an image of Tyzok.
You've had so much fun with this OBS day. I was going to bring up Willy's Wonderland. Obviously, we can't show the trailer. If you have any stills from that.
I can grab them.
In the meantime, bird abs.
They're hot bird abs. I mean, what? This is a still from the movie Willy's Wonderland, which was originally called Wally's Wonderland, and they had to change the name of it for some reason.
Yeah.
This movie is essentially Nicolas Cage going, if I was in Five Nights at Freddy's, I'd fuck everyone up.
Yeah, apparently from what I saw for the trailer, he's a mute. So I don't know if it's like he's just
I don't think he's a mute.
Well, the guy in the movie says, like, you're a man of few words. And the guy, and Nicolas Cage just grins at him. He doesn't say anything throughout the whole entire trailer. There's no scene where Nicolas Cage is just all like, I'm going to fuck up these animatronics and make them fucking rue the day they ever fuck with Nicolas fucking Cage. I was Ghost Rider, god damn it. You know? That has nothing to do with Willy's Wonderland.
That has nothing to do with Willy's Wonderland. You are correct.
This is you wanting to show off pictures of Jusha Thunder Liger.
Also, on Redbubble, I have a new shirt that is out that is known as Surfin' Skeledude. It is available on a wonderful, wonderful orange everything.
That's an awesome picture.
And I will toss some links in the Discord to the shirt itself. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got. Oh yeah, also, oh goodness, I gotta go back to me. There we go. January 30th. I know that's a little bit of ways. That's not this coming Saturday, but the next Saturday after that. Knox Video is having a VHS swap at the Hay Bear Cafe, which is a boba tea place. Yeah, we're going to be as safe as we possibly can, but we are doing a VHS swap, selling tapes. So if you're in the Knoxville area,
I might be there at that one because I got nothing going on that weekend.
All right,
I have something going on that weekend.
Come hang out, get some boba tea, sell some tapes. We're gonna have some shirts for sale. Speaking the Knox Video stickers should be out by that point.
Speaking of that weekend. Show is going to be a little weird on that weekend specifically. Because that is the weekend of the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching the Royal Rumble.
I think we might... I don't want to fucking not do a show, but at the same exact time, I chose Sunday for a reason, and unfortunately Sunday at 8 p.m. 90% of the time, I'm not going to... or close to 90% of the time, I'm not going to give two shits about fucking WWE wrestling, but the Royal Rumble is a different story. I haven't missed a Royal Rumble since like 2006. So, like,
I'm totally disappointed that you didn't check out the pay-per-view that was last night. I'm going to go ahead and hark from the heavens that Impact's Hard to Kill was produced well. They had a lot of top-tier talent. And it was one of the best things I've seen come out of Impact in the past decade. I think that they're climbing back to the top. If you are a wrestling fan and you are discounting Impact as one of the major players that's out there, you fucked up because they are. Max Cardona made a smart move. He stepped away from AEW because their roster is so talented and flooded. and he went to Impact to hang out and wrestle with Brian Myers. So the Major Brothers are back together. Possibly. We haven't seen that happen, but where the assumption is there. Yes, we like wrestling. You should know this. I lost faith in wrestling a while ago, and I've kind of started getting back into it since AEW happened. Still don't really watch Big Red, Big Blue, but I am watching Impact and am watching AEW.
Well, like I'm just so like I get so much stuff from IWTV that there's more people I care about on IWTV than I care about on any of the other ones, and it's sad to say because I literally have friends in AEW.
Yeah, dude, it's sad. It makes me sad because we used to talk about wrestling a lot, and you have moved to a point that you do not watch the wrestling that I watch, so we cannot talk about wrestling so that you can talk about wrestling with other people.
I don't even talk about wrestling with those people. The only wrestling we talk about with those people, I was like, what fucking segment I'm in? I don't know what segment you're in, dude. I'm not the booker. Don't ask me.
you gotta make some time to watch some of the good stuff. The industry is exploding. The industry is climbing back to the top. This is a good thing for everyone.
And Audrey, I do want to point out that when I move in with Joe, I won't have a fucking choice because Joe will be all like,
make you fucking watch the WWE shit too, though. That's gross.
He's gonna make me watch everything. It's gonna be GCW. It's gonna be fucking New Japan. I'm gonna have to watch literally everything because it will be
news. Anthem and Jeff Jarrett settled out of court. That lawsuit is finally over. So we don't know who owns the rights to Global Force at this point in time, but there is the point that Anthem, because Anthem doesn't like just calling themselves Impact. So now either they've got the name and they will be changing their name to Global Force, or they will be coming up with another name. So Impact is about to be called something Impact. Impact is going to be the show, unless they're going to just call it Impact Wrestling and then name the show something different. But
yeah,
still.
that would either way. I think that this is a good direction for them to go and stuff, and it's going.
Yep,
good.
they just
now Ethan Page did like totally tear Impact a new asshole over the fucking pay-per-view on Twitter, and I don't know why, because I didn't read it. But apparently he's really pissed. He's not liking the what happened or something. I have no fucking idea. I didn't see the show.
I didn't see anything that would cause that to happen. So
yeah, I don't know. He said something about like you made a fucking joke. You took a joke too far or something. I don't.
Oh, he's just talking about the shitty Karate Man segment. Who cares? Who cares about Karate Man? Anytime somebody brings up Karate Man, I think of Kung Fu Man from fucking Mugen.
Yeah, I was about to say, are you talking about Kung Fu Man from Mugen?
there's an alter ego of somebody who goes by the name Karate Man, and there was a very terrible video kind of match that was put together.
Is it Kung Fu Chanela?
No.
Shout out to my good friend Donnie. Donnie, I missed the hell out of you. I know you don't watch this fucking show. Why am I even giving you a shout out?
You can do it. Fucking who knows who's gonna watch this shit? Look.
Yeah.
When it comes down to
go back and watch this in the fucking replay, and they're just gonna be all like, "Oh, hey, Donnie Janela, you get a fucking shout out on some dumbass's show," and he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, it's Skunk. I don't give a fuck about him."
Yeah,
anyway,
who cares?
I miss the hell out of Donnie. He's a good dude. People have literally been asking me and Donnie when like, when are you guys gonna have a match together? And I'm like, when the fuck did this? Donnie Janela would whip my ass. When do you want us to have a match together? You just want to watch me lose? Is that what you want? I have no idea what Donnie says. Well, that's it for me for Nick. Well, I mean, there's one other thing, but it's a minor thing. I found out 3 days ago. I just found this out, but it happened 3 days ago. Peter Mark Richmond, who played Charles in Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah, he died.
He passed away.
Yeah. Not really known for much. Known pretty much as a character actor who was in Jason Takes Manhattan.
It's pretty much his only film. So, but I mean, that's the only other thing. So in that being the thing, any questions from the audience? Anybody have anything for us? We're going to leave that banner up for a minute because I know there's a delay between StreamYard and the questions. Yeah, the bracket worked out great. I don't think we'll ever get a bracket that good again. I do want to say that, but maybe time will tell. Time will tell. Audrey showing off some Scrubhaus artwork there.
This is available for you in our Spreadshirt. If you go to scrubhouse.com and then you go to the shop, you should be able to find it there.
Yes.
This is our beautiful Robert Zadara's Dead shirt. That's actually Yamashita from Samurai Cop.
And if you do want to support us, by the way, we also have Patreon.
We do have a Patreon.
Patreon thing. We're gonna get it. The Patreon thing's gonna be better. I swear. We don't have time right now to really make it work. But we're gonna eventually do stuff with Patreon. There will be some behind.
We're also gonna be doing stuff with YouTube. Well, I'm gonna be doing stuff with YouTube pretty soon. So that's gonna be fun.
I'm doing shit with YouTube. Audrey's doing shit. We have Twitch. You're doing stuff with it.
I do stream on Twitch. I stream on Twitch whenever mentally I'm able to do so. So that being said, even though I have scheduled to do 2 days a week, a lot of times it's 1 day a week, I do enjoy playing games with friends. And I want to find more games that I can play with friends. So if you are interested in joining me in a gaming time, a fun, happy gaming time, twitch.tv/glowcat, GLOKAT. I go live Eastern, 11 p.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays, if I'm there. If I'm not live at 11 and you get there, I'm not going live because I always go live a little bit before so that people can huddle in and be ready. So if you show up at 11, I'm not there. I won't be there.
If you really want to get involved in stuff that we're doing, we have the Discord.
Absolutely.
Get Discord. Get Discord anyway. Discord's great. And then join us on Discord. I
got nothing.
We're not going to get any questions this week. We never get questions from the audience. I don't know. Blake was like the one guy, and then he didn't show up tonight. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know either. What are you drinking?
Water.
I ran out of beer.
I ran out of Major Melon, which is my addictive drink right now. It's weird. I don't taste the watermelon. I know that everybody tells me it tastes like a watermelon Jolly Rancher, but it doesn't.
It's supposed to be watermelon.
Yeah, but I'm used to watermelon flavors being like super overpowering, and I think that's why I don't like them. But this one, it's actually quite mild whenever it mixes with the Mountain Dew. It makes it delicious. I love it. It's my addictive drink.
It is a good one. I didn't think it was going to be as good as it actually turned out to be. I thought it was actually going to be pretty shit, but it was all right. But I still prefer the taste of just regular Mountain Dew. Actually, I've been drinking a lot of AMP lately, and I've noticed something about AMP. It has a lot of yellow food dye in it. And I drink a lot of AMP. My pee comes out like fucking like safety vest green, like that greenish yellow, like day glow color. And it worries me every time it happens because I'm like, is something wrong with me? Like, do I have a fucking disease? And then I remember, oh no, it's just all the yellow food dye they put in fucking AMP specifically. As you cut to a gif of, I don't know what the fuck that is. The fucker am I looking at?
That is the new gift for If You Raid Me.
Oh, okay.
It's from Zombie 2, Lucio Fulci.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what the hell it was. It was fucking two dudes with guns. I don't fucking know.
Kids with guns. Kids with guns.
Skeletons. I'm thinking about Maria again. All right. You know what? Fuck it. I think that's the end of the show. We're an hour and 45. We only went 45 minutes over tonight. But, I mean, we had a big show. This is a big deal tonight. So, I don't...
I'm saying goodbye to the audience, Patushin Thunder Liger.
I don't remember that happening in WWE.
Oh, yeah, it's whenever they got Jushin for that takeover.
Yeah, I could tell whose fucking selfie stick that is covered in fur.
Yeah.
Good old fucking Tyler Breeze.
Tyler Breeze.
All right. Well, I guess we're not going to get any questions from anybody, so we'll just say goodnight.
All right. Well, hey, I want to thank everybody for showing up here. Remember, you need to go ahead and check out our website at scrubhaus.com. I also found out that .house exists, so we might be looking to do a domain for that as well. Go ahead and check out our Twitches. I am Glowcat. Of course, you might already be at this one, but there's the standard Scrubhaus Twitch, and Skunk Rocker has a Twitch, even though he hardly ever uses it.
I rarely use it.
We have a YouTube URL. And all of this stuff is available on our website. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah. If you look at the comments of this video,
We'll make a fucking Pinterest YouTube, if you want us to. I don't care.
YouTube, you'll see all the. I mean, yeah. Pinterest? No.
Pinterest.
No.
Make some mood boards.
Ugh.